Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Kassler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with episode number 266 of Ask Dave. This is a follow-up to episode 265, where we started taking a look at the MFJ-17754 wire antenna. Now, this antenna is a 20 and 40 meter dipole. It is trapped, so it covers 20 and then 40. The thing is that the traps also act as loading coils for the 40 meter portion. So it tends to really diminish the bandwidth on 40 meters to about 100 kilohertz for a 2-to-1 bandwidth, and a little bit wider than that for 3-to-1 bandwidth. So a couple days ago, we got the thing tuned on 20. And discovered that the numbers that they gave for sensitivity to, if you take this much off, you move it by so many megahertz, those numbers were just out to lunch. So I tried a little bit different point of view on 40 today. Now, this is very important to realize if you purchase this antenna. It's an inexpensive antenna, about $70. And the antenna is deliberately designed to be too long, so that you will have to tune it. That means putting it up, testing it, taking it down, making adjustments, putting it up, testing it, and so on. I probably did that a total of 5 or 6 times to get to the point where it was where I wanted it on both 20 and 40. I did the 20 tuning in episode 265, and here in episode 266 we take a look at the 40 tuning. Now, I just want to talk a little bit about whether this is a viable candidate as an antenna. It won't be our reference antenna because, one, we've already picked one. It's the MFJ-2010, which is an off-center fed dipole that covers all of 20 and all of 40 and throws in 6 and 10 to boot, but those bands aren't really open these days. This antenna suffers from the same problem that the Alpha Delta DXEE antenna suffered, and that is on 40 meters, because it's so heavily loaded on 40 meters, the bandwidth is very limited. Now, I did, in a couple videos ago, go out and take that DXEE and tweak it and tweak it and tweak it until I got that thing to give me the phone portion of 40 meters. Okay, so it got the phone portion of 40 meters. That's the same thing we're going to do today with this. Again, remember, in this case, the antenna is cut long, so you have to shorten it. There are instructions for shortening it in the instructions, where you have a little clip. It's got a little screw that you just very slightly loosen, and then you can pull the wires through it to get the right length that you want. Okay, so we did that today on 40, and I want to give you the results. These are the results, very simply. The 3-to-1 low end on it was 7.110 kilohertz, which is in the very top end of the CW band. 2-to-1 was 7.157, 1-to-1 was 7.22, 7.28 for 2-to-1, and 7338, which is 38 kilohertz out of the band for a 3-to-1. So, as it turns out, this covers the entire, let's see, use the right term here. I used voice before. It's phone. Covers the entire phone band, amateur extra all the way through up the general. Covers the entire phone band at less than 3-to-1. Now, why is 3-to-1 important? That's because in your radio, almost all radios that have internal tuners, and this is the case for the reference radio, will tune up to a 3-to-1 SWR. So you can use this antenna for the entire phone band. Now, what you cannot do is use it for FT8. Now, you could, if you wanted to, kind of move the resonant frequency down so you pick up the 7.074 for FT8, and then wherever that puts the 3-to-1 bandwidth in the phone band, and make a compromise out of it if you want to. I would recommend going with the reference antenna, but it does require 66 feet between the two ends. whereas this antenna only requires 42 feet between the two ends. And the first antenna we tried, the Alpha Delta DXEE antenna, also is just 40 feet long and will cover 20, 40, 15, and 10. It will only cover the phone portion, or if you want the CW and digital portion, you put it wherever you want. You can tune the bands kind of independently. 20, 15 cover the whole band, and 10 covers the active portion of 10. Okay, so that's where we are. Now what I did was I've got another 40 meter antenna here, the Step IR Big IR antenna. And so I turned it on, raised it, got it to the right length and everything, and did these two. Okay, what I did was I set this up so that these two are side by side. The one on the left is the dipole. The one on the right is the Big IR antenna. And you see there's more background noise with the Big IR. But I took a couple signals and I looked at the actual S-meter reading on the signal between the Big IR antenna and the MFJ antenna, and they were about the same S unit. So they're about S9. So what that means is that you're getting less noise on the dipole than you are on the vertical. The vertical had the slight edge. Now, I would expect that because it's a full-size vertical with lots of radials, whereas this is a dipole that's only up 20 feet. So, in conclusion, this dipole does work and might be an option for you if the reference antenna is not an option. Okay, and I'll try and put something to this effect up on the reference station website at dcasler.com/reference. That's where you can find all the latest reference stuff. Okay, now I found my horn. So I'm going to toot my horn. Be sure to go to dcasler.com/support. Look for ways that you can support this channel. And there I tooted my own horn. Until we next meet, 73.